Hey everybody, I thought I would try a new venue um, this week. So I apologize for any loud birds or if you hear any kids screaming from the daycare next door. It must be playtime. Um, but as the title suggests, this post is going to be more about anxiety, depression, and food. A relative of mine posted recently on Facebook um, their battle with depression and how we need to talk about it. We need, people. Depression can really make you feel like you're alone, that you have nobody else. Same with anxiety, and you're not. Everybody, deals, suffers from it in some form, some more than others. But this week has been really tough too for me, and part of last week, but mainly this week. I won't go into details, but it's tough when you have a child that um, decides to listen to others and thinks that you've said things that you haven't. And it's hard because you hope that you raise your children um, well, that they know that you raise them and that they always know you love them, that you support them in anything and everything they do, and that you're there for them. Even when you have to scold your children, you still try to follow that up with, I'm not happy with what you did, but I love you. And even though this is hurt, what my child's doing is hurting the family and hurting me personally, I still love them. And I'm, ready for them when they decide to come back. But it's tough. And depression can really cripple you. It can make you feel alone, like I said. Um, there's been times during this week where I've just wanted to hole up and just cry and just not deal with anything. And it's been really hard to actually do things this week. Getting just menial tasks, doing the dishes, doing the cooking. We've done some cooking, but not anything like I normally would, not what I had wanted to do for this, video podcast. I wanted to do some more elaborate dishes, but just the energy and the motivation just hasn't been there because of this anxiety and stress and depression. And it's tough. It's really tough. You don't know. It's really hard to sometimes see how do you move forward. Um, how do you respect, in this case, how do you respect your child's wishes to give them the space that they feel they need, but yet you want to reach out to them and you can't because they've cut all communications off, to let them know, hey, I'm here. I still love you. Those things weren't said. Um, you know, it's tough. It's really tough. Um, yeah. It sometimes is even hard to then put thoughts together, um, because you just want to, you dwell. It's like person with me with anxiety. I dwell too much on things. Some people call it worrying, but it's just my mind just keeps revisiting things over and over and over again, and um, like Cher would say, snap out of it. It's really hard to. You can't help but revisit. And I never really understood anxiety. I worked with a lady at my last job. Loved her. She was awesome. An older lady. Her name is Dee Dee. And she put it well. Like, for me, it was this real struggle to just understand exactly what anxiety was. I always thought it was just about the here and the now and the thing that I'm going to be doing now and freaking me out. And really, that wasn't what it was all about. What she had told me, she goes, anxiety for you is, it's not about the here and the now. It's not about doing the thing now. It's about down the road, way down the road, the future. What happens if? And it's so true. Like, if I have to, we're having car issues, okay? So if I have to take the car, and normally my wife handles that. She understands the car, and my dad was a mechanic, but I don't understand that stuff, but she does. So if I had to take the car into the dealership, I get a lot of anxiety. One, it's something I haven't had to do, so I'd prefer if somebody goes with me. If it's my wife, if it's my mom, even if it's my kids. Somebody to go with me so I'm not alone. If I start to climb up, they can take the lead and they can continue the conversation. But for me, if I had to do it alone, or just even thinking about the whole, even just not even days before an appointment, I would be worrying about the appointment situation. Okay, what if they ask me this? I don't know that information. Or what if it's ends up being more than we have budgeted? What do I do? Because the car needs to be fixed, but I don't have the money to get it all fixed. But it still needs to be fixed. But is that too much? Could we get it done cheaper somewhere else? Or do we know anybody who could do it ourselves? I mean, so many thoughts with a person with anxiety, so many thoughts just go through their mind that it can be hard to under to move on to anything. It can be hard to keep working through the situation. Um, Phone calls, having to talk to somebody on the phone is a huge anxiety thing for me. Um, Partly because as I'm getting older, my hearing's not as great. It's going. My hearing's actually really weird. I hear fairly well, but it's weird frequencies or tones. Like we could be in a car. My wife could have the radio on just gently. She could be trying to talk to me right next to me in the front seat, and we had a minivan back then. But I would not be able to necessarily hear her clearly. But I could hear my kids way in the back third seat whispering, and I could hear crystal clear everything. It's weird, like just I don't know. It's hard to explain, but telephones give me anxiety because I can't always hear what the person's saying on the phone, or I don't hear them clearly. Um, and then trying to respond, come up with an answer. Um, Sometimes I'll just, my mind will work and I'll just say something, and then later on I'm like, oh, I should have said this instead. I worry about the conversation days later. That's why I love email, because I can clearly see what the person's written in front of me. I can take my time to go through it, process it. I can craft a response, which means I can go back. I can write all my thoughts. Down, because the way my brain works with thoughts is I get a notion, an idea, a feeling of what I want to say, not exact words. So I try to write and describe that feeling, and then I go back and edit and make it so that it makes sense to somebody else, and try to make it concise, because my emails can get freaking long if you know me. I tend to over explain sometimes, but with an email, that I can do that. I can keep reading it. I can, set it the draft aside, come back to it later with a mind and go, oh, nope, nope, I need to clean this out, and make sure that what I'm saying makes sense, not, you know, so that's why I hate the phone. I don't like working on the telephone. Even video conferencing can be hard because same kind of a thing. You're in the moment. You're trying to come up with an answer, but yeah, so anxiety, Dee Dee told me anxiety is all about the future, down the road. What happens if this, or what happens if that? And you literally, a person with that kind of anxiety, they're not comfortable until they feel they are prepared for every single possible instance that could happen, any possible problem that could come up. That's why my best friend I'm considered their family concierge or valet, because literally when I am invited to any of their family functions, like I'm going to be going to their family reunion and next weekend, um, I over prepare. I have baby wipes, I have aspirin, I have a first aid kit, I've got safety pins, I've got water. I've got sunscreen, bug spray, um, something to do, a little bit of music to play if I need to. I've got um, uh, I'm prepared. I'm literally prepared for almost everything. And so they love having me around because the first time I started taking my anxiety pills, I wasn't as prepared, and she gave me shit for it because she was like, this is so not you. I don't like this new Bert. Where's my prepared Bert? So I'm out of my pills now, which is another problem. When you have no insurance and your pills run out and you can't really go into your doctor and be like, hey, I need more pills. I mean, I could. I'm sure there's free services out there, but it's too much work, and then the anxiety, and then, it's a vicious cycle. So I try to cope in other ways. Coming out and sitting outside in the nice air, just getting some fresh air is helping keep me calm today. Um, but yeah, I haven't been much to cook. But yes, anxiety and depression is real, people. Um, if you ever have feelings of you know, you need to have a support system. If you don't have people you can talk to, family and friends, then you need to um, find somebody to talk to. Um, get a therapist. Um, they're not all shrinks. They're not all head shrinkers. They can be really helpful to just, a therapist can really help you organize your thoughts. Um, my brain, the way it works, it never shuts up. Even when I was asleep, I've been awake since 6 o'clock this morning, and yesterday I couldn't fall asleep until 3 because my brain would not shut off. It kept thinking of everything that was said, um, with my different children, everything that, messages that came through. It went over everything, and it just wouldn't. I couldn't shut it off. Um, so you need sometimes. So my brain is literally always going, and so my wife sometimes gives me crap that I'm not listening to her, or that I didn't listen to her when she told me something, and that's not necessarily true. I probably heard her clearly. I probably took the information she told me, but then my brain looked at it and went, "Do I need to know this now? Is this anything that's relevant that I have to act upon now or later? No. Okay, throw it out the window because there's not enough room in here for that right now." And so I'll ask her things over and over again, like, "Wait, are we doing this or this?" She'll be like, "I told you." And I'm like, "Well, I'm sorry. My brain decided not to keep that information." But you need somebody, but with a brain like that, a therapist can really help you organize your thoughts, work through the chaos in your brain, and try to find answers. Just to be a sounding board. Sometimes just talking it out with somebody helps you um, think a little better. And even if you have a support network like friends and families, still have that outside person like a therapist who's trained, because your friends and family love you and they want you to be healthy, but you can overtax them. If your stuff is too negative all the time, you can really bring their mood down and bring them down, and then that's not healthy for your relationship with them. So if that's all you ever do with your friends is or family is just rant a lot, um, then you probably should have a therapist to rant at, so that you can share your successes with your friends and family as well. Um, and if you suffer from anxiety and depression, don't be afraid to go on medication. Just make sure that you work with your doctor to know what medication is going to be good for you and that the dosage is right. Before I lost my insurance, we had just adjusted my dosage, and I still think it could go up more, because there are still times when I would set an appointment for something, and the day before, the day of, I'd be like, I should cancel. I don't know. That was signs of anxiety for me. That was just the idea of, I'm not comfortable. I don't want to go. Um, so I could probably have upped that dosage a bit, but something to think about when I get back into my doctor. So that's what I wanted to talk about with anxiety and depression. So what else happened this week? I got to go to see a florist for a cousin's wedding the other day. Beautiful flowers. I'm helping them plan not their wedding, it's their 10th anniversary. Lovely couple. And on my wife's side. And they're getting married, or not married, but they're having their 10th anniversary celebration. They never had they had a very private, just immediate family only wedding in Iowa, because it wasn't legal here for two men to get married in Minnesota at the time. So they got married down there. But now that's 10 years later, they want to do something kind of a big party for friends and family, and so they're having it at the Guthrie, which is amazing. I got to taste the food. I got to go on a food tasting for that. Um, Excellent food. It's been fun helping them just finalize all the details and think of things that maybe they hadn't thought of. People have always said that I should probably have become an event planner, and I probably would love that, but I don't like dealing with people that much. As somebody with anxiety and depression, like, people like, too much. Like, I want to be noticed, which is, people always find this funny about me, like, when we do Renfest and I go in, like, drag, or I go in my Renfest costumes and I'm all decked out, it's a lot of attention. And people are like, you don't like attention. So why are you calling for attention? Because I do like it's like I'm an introvert extrovert. Like I want the attention, but don't look at me. So it's kind of funny. But no, so helping them think of just things that maybe they haven't thought of. So we got to talk about flowers this week, um, and just the different arrangements and how we could handle different things, and so it's really exciting, and I can't wait. And that's next month. So it's going to be a fun event. Um, I'll be running around like crazy, I'm sure. But I enjoy that kind of stuff. I've always been like my wife and I. We've talked. We've always kind of been like hosts at heart. Like we love hosting events, hosting parties. Our enjoyment is creating a space and an event that other people feel they can relax and have fun. I think when I helped out on my 20-year class reunion, that was one of my big concerns, was in the atmosphere for people who have anxiety like me, to make it so that when you first come in, you're not like, oh, there's people I have to talk to. No, I wanted to distract them with something first. So we created, posters of the yearbooks, huge posters of the yearbook pages, and different little trivia icebreaker things on the tables, and just stuff to kind of distract them and get them, calm and eased into the event, and then be like, oh, hey, it's so and so, and then start mingling. And I had actually a person at the event reached out to me and said, that was perfect. That was, she had anxiety about the whole thing, and it was exactly what she needed to just kind of ease into the event. So it was a success in that part. But I like thinking of things like that, thinking about other people. For genealogy, I'm on the North Star Planning Committee for the North Star Conference this fall, and it's always fun, creating an event like that. Just so much work goes into it. And so helping where I can. I can't always give financially to different organizations that I love. So if I can help and give of my time, that's perfect. Okay, so this is supposed to be a video podcast about food and cooking and stuff. And that's why this is titled Anxiety, Depression, and Food. When you are feeling anxious or having or dealing with depression, food can be a big issue for someone like me. I like to eat my feelings. So even though I've been sort of good, like I have a tub of ice cream, orange dreamsicle, one of my favorites. If you're ever at a bar with me, I like a dreamsicle, but not the ice cream kind. It's got to be made with amaretto, orange juice, and cream. Or you can take, some people substitute orange liqueur or something like that's fine too. But I didn't eat any of the ice cream. We did make brownies though, and I had quite a few brownies. And then my mom brought home some broken cookies from church because she helps with hospitality, and so I had tons of cookies. And then I would eat chips at night while we're watching TV because I would get snacky hungry, and so yeah, I was eating my feelings in other ways. But I was trying really hard with my main dinner to be portion control, which is not easy. Because like a big guy like me, I get hungry like an hour later. I'm like, I'm still really hungry, because I haven't been eating during the day, which is what I still need to make sure. Like today, I should really focus today on making sure that I eat those grapes we have in there, and eating some of the nuts and grapes, and more vegetarian-y things that we have. Because then I won't be so hungry in the evening and stuff myself. So, yeah. And then earlier this week, I had a video, but then I deleted it. But I was basically in bed until 11 o'clock, partially because of depression. The other part was because we had BLTs, and I love BLTs. And as a kid, we traveled a lot in an RV, and so whenever we'd go to a new restaurant, my parents always, the first thing they'd look for was food for me, either mac and cheese or BLT. If there was BLT, I was all about it. And so we had BLTs, but we didn't have bread. We had hamburger buns. They were kind of small hamburger buns. Okay, they were normal size store hamburger buns, but to me, that looked small. So I had 3 to begin with. But we didn't have lettuce. I forgot we had to throw out the lettuce. So it was only bacon and tomato. So then I had 3 more because they were like little sliders, but they weren't. And then I had 2 more. So I didn't realize it at the time. It wasn't until the next morning. I was like, oh my God, I just had 8 of those sandwiches. That was horrible. And I paid for it the next morning because my stomach was so upset. So a stomach ache is bad enough. But then you throw on, you know, depression and anxiety, and with my health issues, that just makes those situations get more inflamed. So then my stomach ache was like 100 times worse. So it was cramping and it was just hurt. I couldn't get comfortable. So I literally was in bed a good chunk of the day and didn't get anything done. And I keep watching this little spider on my deck rail, and he keeps coming over towards my hot pink water bottle. And then I have to like shoo him away. And then he keeps coming back. It's like I don't want to kill him because he's, out in nature. Yeah, go the other way. You don't want to be over here. So, no, keep going. So that was really tough. That was kind of crippling. So you got to make sure when you're not feeling well that you're eating properly and you're not overdoing it, because that's not good for my digestive system couldn't handle that. Okay, so we had BLTs on Tuesday. And actually Sunday we had chicken sammies. So you just, bake chicken breasts and then just have them like a sandwich. I think we had some leftovers of that on Monday as well. And then Tuesday we had the BLTs. Wednesday we ended up having the chicken quesadillas. And yesterday we did in the slow cooker, we had a crock pot lemon chicken, which was just chicken breast with lemon juice, chicken broth, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and just put them in there, and then you put it on low for 4 hours. There's part of the recipe also said that you could take and with butter and flour add it to the leftover juice and make like a sauce to put over your chicken, but we just had the chicken by itself with some vegetables. So tonight I don't think there's anything on the menu, so we'll have to figure that out. I've been craving pizza. It's not good. I think I have the stuff. I can make a pizza dough. I might have marinara sauce still. And I have mozzarella cheese, but I don't have... And I have green peppers. But I think that's it. I don't have any other toppings. So that would be problematic. I mean, we could just do cheese pizza, but who wants to do cheese pizza? So there's that. Did we have pizza this... No, I think we had pizza on Monday. I think we did. Maybe we had pizza on Monday. I don't remember. But it's supposed to be date night. Me and my wife haven't gone on a date night in a while on a Friday. It's just been challenging with less income in the house. So I think I've got enough video going now. This weekend I'm going to try and take it easy. I've got some projects to do that I'm going to work on. But then after that, I think I just kind of want to sit and catch up on some movies. We've been watching The Good Witch. Actually, my wife's been watching the TV show for a while, and she's seen one of the movies, I think. And she's seen most of the TV show, but I've seen it here and there, so I know a little bit of the people. But we decided we wanted to start at the beginning and watch the movies. So we got a 7-day free trial at Hallmark Movies Now, so we're going to watch that. So we started with the first one last night. We're going to try and watch one movie. Since there's 7 movies and I have a 7-day free trial, we're going to watch a movie a day for 7 days. So tonight we'll watch the second one. But I just kind of want to, I want to catch up on some knitting. I haven't even, depression, even with depression, like knitting usually helps me a little bit with my anxiety and stuff, but I haven't even had the motivation to even just knit. It's just been, sleeping a little longer and or taking naps or just, putzing on the computer, um, just to, have the semblance of feeling like I've accomplished something. So take care of your bodies, people. Take care of your mind. Um, I think that's one of the issues the society's had in the past is that we've been so focused on taking care of our bodies, of eating right, eating healthy, exercising, looking good, feeling good, all that. But um, for the longest time, it seemed like we were neglecting taking care of our own minds. Um, and how we feel. And I think it's being brought to light more and more every day. People are talking more about depression and anxiety and creating more awareness. But still, a lot of people are still hesitant to admit that, yes, I suffer from this, and then seek help for it. So remember, though, you're not alone. We all suffer from it in some form, um, and there's help out there. What should we have for dinner tonight? See, this is how my brain works. I just go off on tangents. I'm going to have to go inside soon because this cotton is just, I'm starting to get really stuffed up. But don't I have a lovely background? Gorgeous tree. Beautiful natural light. Feeling very bohemian with my cotton linen outfit and my scarf from Mexico. Technically made in Japan, I think is what it said, or China. Made in Indonesia. So there you go. But I got it for 18 American dollars, 24 Mexican dollars, or no, 324 Mexican dollars. Jesus. So yeah, 100% rayon. But it's one of my favorites. And yes, my microphone's being held on by a binder clip. I went to go use the regular microphone clip, lapel clip, and it was broken. The clip themselves are metal, but the little things that hold the microphone are plastic. I've gone through like 3 of these things now, so I gotta find a better one. But anywho, I should close for now. I'm sure I'll have more to say on Sunday when I put this together and publish it. So until then, stay healthy and eat. Just not too much. In moderation.